Bismillah. Why are you here? Not here watching this video, but here on this earth, in this body, in this time, in this specific life that was given to you and no one else. Do you know the answer to that question? Because here's what I've noticed. Most people, including most Muslims, have never really stopped and seriously asked that question. They've been too busy following the script. Study hard, get good grades, get into a good college, get a good job, get married, have kids, retire, and die. And somewhere in the middle of all that, usually around your age actually, a voice starts asking, is this it? Is this what I'm here for? And tonight, inshallah, I want to give you a real answer to that question. I want to tell you about a patient I sat with years ago in the emergency room. Now, we usually talk about young people, but tonight I'm going to tell you about an older person, 68 years old, who was having a heart attack. We stabilized him, and while we waited for the cardiologist to take him to the cath lab, we had one of those conversations that I think pretty much only happens in emergency rooms when people suddenly realize their own mortality. He looked at the ceiling for a long time, and then he said to me, Doc, I've been successful by every single measure. Good career, nice house, my kids are great, and I'm lying here right now thinking, what was the point of any of it? What did I actually do with my life? Now, he wasn't asking me for medical advice. He was asking the question that he had been avoiding for the past 40 or 50 years. And the tragedy was not that he asked the question. The tragedy is that he's asking it for the first time at the age of 68 in an emergency room while going through a heart attack. I don't want you to be in his shoes. Ask that question now. Now let me tell you about a young man who knew exactly what he was here for, even before he knew how big the answer would actually be. His name was Dawud alayhi salam. And when we first encounter him in the Quran, he's just a little kid. He's a shepherd boy. Nobody, no title, no army, no lineage of power. Just a shepherd boy. In those days, Bani Israel were facing a huge army that was led by an even more impressive man, Jalut, the one that they call Goliath. And Jalut is not a metaphor. He was physically enormous, armored, experienced, terrifying. The entire army of Bani Israel, trained soldiers, armed men, they were scared of him. And then you have Dawud alayhi salam, a little kid, no armor, no experience. All he has is a sling. And Allah says about him in the Quran, فَهَزَمُوهُمْ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ وَقَتَلَ دَاوُودُ جَالُوتَ وَآتَاهُ اللَّهُ الْمُلْكَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَعَلَّمَهُ مِمَّا يَشَاءُ. So Allah says, Bani Israel, despite the odds being against them, they defeated them by the permission of Allah. And Dawood, this little kid, he killed Jalut. He hit him in the one place that he didn't have armor. And Allah gave Dawud alayhi salam the kingship and wisdom and taught him from whatever he willed. A shepherd boy. He killed Jalut, and then Allah gave him kingship and prophethood, and he gave him the Zabur, the ability to shape iron with his bare hands. But here's what I want you to notice, and this is the part that changes everything for tonight. The Quran tells us that Allah said to Dawud directly, Ya Dawud, inna ja'alnaka khalifatan fil ard. O Dawud, we have made you a Khalifa on this earth. A Khalifa, a steward, a representative. That word, Khalifa, is not just for Dawud. It is the word Allah used when He told the angels why He was creating the human race. When He said in Surah Al-Baqarah, إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. Truly, I am placing on the earth a Khalifa. So that word, it's about you. Every human being, including you, watching this on night 22 of Ramadan, was placed on this earth as a Khalifa, as a steward. You are not here by accident. You are here because Allah Azza wa Jal placed you, specifically you, for a purpose that only you can fulfill. Now let me be honest, because I think this is a place where Islamic teaching can do better than it does. When we talk about purpose, we often make it sound enormous and vague. You are here to worship Allah. You are here to serve the Ummah. You are here to change the world. Really, really big things sound so huge, but also entirely vague. And teens, they hear that and they think, okay, but what does that mean for me? Specifically, I'm 17. I live in suburban Ohio or Dallas or Orlando or New York or San Francisco. What exactly am I supposed to be doing? So let me break it down into something real. Allah says in Surah Al-Dariyat, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have only created jinn and mankind that they should worship. So worshipping Allah is the foundation. But the scholars tell us something interesting about this. Ibadah is not just fasting and prayer or reading Quran, but it's the orientation of your entire life towards Allah. Every action that you do with the right intention, the intention of pleasing Allah and worshiping Him, that is an act of worship. So your studies, your relationships, your work, your creativity, your service to the community, all of it, when done with the right intention, is an act of worship. This means that your purpose is not separate from your life. It's expressed through your life, through the specific gifts that Allah gave specifically to you, the specific place that He put you, the specific people that He surrounded you with. Consider this hadith for a sec. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, whatever you spend seeking thereby the pleasure of Allah, you will have its reward, even the morsel of food that you put in your wife's mouth. Now, I don't want to get mushy, but you gotta admit, it's kind of romantic, right? Some people, they complain all day long about how much money they spend on buying groceries. The Prophet ﷺ here is teaching us something beautiful. That if you take the attitude that the food that you literally and quite beautifully put into the mouth of your wife that you love, not that you're trying to poison her, you're trying to feed her and trying to appreciate her. The food that you put on the table for your family, the act of being good to your family, all of that, if you do it with the intention of pleasing Allah, it's an act of worship. Back to Dawud alayhi salam. He was a shepherd before he was a king. And being a good shepherd, caring for what Allah entrusted to him, was already part of his purpose, even before he knew what was coming. You don't need to know the whole picture to start living with purpose now. You just need to ask, what did Allah give me, and am I using it for His sake? And here's the part that I think is most important for your generation, specifically. The world around you today is offering you purpose, and it sounds very compelling. Your purpose is to be successful, to be famous, to be liked, to build your own personal brand, to get followers, to achieve, to optimize, to be the main character in your story. That is the cultural offer, and it is, at its core, deeply empty, because it makes you the center of your own purpose. Dawud was not the center of his own story. Allah was the center of his story. Dawud was a Khalifah, a steward, a representative, which means that he was acting on behalf of someone greater than himself. His gifts were not his own. His kingship was given, not earned. His tasbih, the mountains and the birds joining him in glorifying Allah, was a constant reminder that he was part of something much larger than himself. This is what gives purpose weight, not that it's centered on you, but that it connects you to something much greater than yourself. You are a Khalifah. You are the steward that Allah placed on this earth. Your life is not your own story. It is part of the story of humanity. So 3 practical take-homes for tonight, inshallah. Number 1, ask the serious question. Why are you here? What has Allah given you? Not in the generic sense as a Muslim teen. What has He given you specifically? And what are you going to do with it? Your gifts, your interests, your situation, your community, these are not random. Number 2, reframe your success. The world measures success by what you accumulate, grades, followers, money, status. The Islamic measure of success is very different. Did you fulfill your role? Did you use what Allah gave you for the purpose that He gave it to you for? When I started this project and started doing things for Muslim teens growing up in the West, I had a specific objective in mind. And recently, on this series, someone reached out to me and told me, I saw your series and it blew me away. And I can't understand why it doesn't have more views. So I told that young lady, there are a lot of videos out there that have tens and hundreds of thousands of views, but they don't have any real impact, no transformation. The metric that I'm looking for is lives changed. Number 3, start where you are. Dawud alayhi salam was a shepherd before he became a king. Your purpose does not begin when you graduate, when you get the job, when you figure your life out. It begins now, in how you treat the people around you, and how you use the hours that Allah has given you today, in whether you're building something or just passing time. That man in the ER, I saw him one more time before he was transferred. He was doing better physically, but something had shifted in him. And he said to me, I've been thinking about what you said, about what I actually did with my life. I hadn't really said that much. I was primarily listening to him, but he said, I think I need to do something that actually matters before I go. He was 68 with a damaged heart, and he was just now asking that question. You're asking it now, and that's the right time to ask it. Tomorrow night, inshallah, night 23, you are not just yourself, your relationship with the ummah, what you owe and what you receive. Drop a comment tonight. What do you think you were put here for? Even if you don't know yet, what do you feel pulled toward? Extended edition in the email as always, and discussion questions on muslimmatters.org. Inshallah, we'll see you tomorrow. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.